everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and today I'm doing another interview. My guest today is a pop artist. They have toured the UK, the US and Europe, and today they're going to come on and tell us a bit more about themselves and their career. So today Bronnie will be joining me.
What's up guys, so I'm Bronnie. I'm an artist just outside of Liverpool. I do kind of like pop punk rock music. I'm also a radio host. I have my own show, The Bronnie Show, plays rock and alternative hits and all that. Yeah.
Amazing, thank you so much for coming, Bronnie. So today we're going to be talking about your music career. And my first question is, when did you first get involved in the industry?
So I started, oh my god, there's like 1,000 different things I could say, but I basically started when I was about 9 doing musical theatre. Found, out that I could kind of sing, and then when I was 15, I was kind of, it's GCSE A-level age, isn't it? So it's kind of like school's pressuring you to know what you want to do. And I was just so stuck. I love musical theatre, didn't really want to do it because I couldn't, I have 2 left feet, honestly, it's just the worst. And then I just started putting covers up on YouTube for fun. And Ryan Seacrest, the presenter of, American Idol? And, he does like loads of E-shows and stuff. He kind of put me into his competition. He emailed me saying that he'd love me to be on his competition for the best cover of 5 Seconds of Summer's song Amnesia. And then I won, and then Louis Tomlinson from One Direction kind of started tweeting about me, and then I got a load of fans through that, and then from that I got a fan base, started releasing my own music when I was about 17, 18, and then I've just been touring ever since.
Amazing, it sounds like your career has been incredible so far. And my next thing is, you just mentioned about touring, so what was that experience like?
Oh, it's insane. Like, the first couple of gigs you do, oh, I was so nervous. And then, because a lot of musicians start out doing the odd, open mic night and all that, and then you get a proper gig as yourself. The next big level is obviously touring, so that was insane. That was I got my first tour 2017 or 2016? 2017, and it was great because it's every night you're on stage, you know what to say, what not to say, you kind of vibe off different crowds, and honestly touring is just the best experience as well because you get to obviously tour around. I've done UK, Europe, America now. I've played shows with Little Mix, and it's just insane. I think that there's no feeling like getting out on stage and getting that adrenaline out.
Yeah, well, it sounds like touring is incredible. And do you get a chance to kind of explore the places you visit as well?
Yeah, we get to stop off, especially in America, because the journeys are so long. So you kind of get the odd day off quicker and stuff like that. So no, we got really cool days off, and in Europe as well. It's great because there's just so many different things you can do, because obviously the places you're staying at, you can either sightsee or do cool stuff like bowling or whatever, do you know what I mean? And just getting to know other bands on tour as well, like inviting them out on your days out and stuff like that. It's fun, but yeah, no, getting to explore. And I'm very involved with my fans, so when we do tours in Europe, after we play, because sometimes we'll do daytime gigs depending, so we'll try and do daytime gigs and nighttime gigs in places like 3 hours apart, and if we get a spare hour, I just say to all the fans, right, name the best cathedral, let's go, we'll all go and all that, and it's just super fun.
Oh yeah, that does sound super fun. And do you kind of see, like, in the UK, is it kind of a different experience to touring in the US, for example?
Yeah, I think because the UK, I kind of know it so well, and it's so you can't really stop off in Hull and be like, ooh, let's sightsee, or in Nottingham or somewhere. But no, like when we play London and stuff, we're always trying to like go for sneaky walks outside soundcheck and stuff. And the UK is smaller, so you don't really get a lot of days off. I prefer just touring every day, do you know what I mean, and playing shows every day. Because days off, it's kind of like you're going full force, and as soon as you have a day off, you kind of relax, and the next day you're just so tired, and everyone's like zombies, so yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Are you missing touring at the moment?
Oh, 100%. It's so weird, because I think especially this time of year, because there's so many tours, and then obviously touring kind of stops about festival season. And when it's normally festival season, that's where we tour in Europe. And not being able to do that last year it sucked so bad. But I mean, at least the weather was good last lockdown. So that was the only plus.
Yeah, well, at least you're finding the positives, and fingers crossed it will all get back soon. I'm sure it will.
Yes.
Hopefully, anyway. So, obviously, you've been part of the music and pop world for a really long time. So, do you have any advice to people who want to get started in that world?
Oh, totally. Don't be afraid to take that step and do it. Do you know what I mean? I was umming and ahhing putting videos of me singing on YouTube for years, and I finally did it. And literally three videos later, I was getting picked up by Ryan Seacrest. So it's you just don't know who's watching you. That's the power of social media. Most people I know, they're the most, like, touring wise, they're the most quiet musicians, but as soon as they get out on stage, they're just a totally different person. It's amazing. So I think so many people share the same thing, is it's really taking that first step to either even go and get, you know, guitar lessons or songwriting lessons or singing lessons. It's just taking that first step to go and do it. And if you want to do it, then go ahead. And it doesn't happen in a day. You know, you can't be the best singer in a day, can't be the best player in a day or anything. It literally takes practice. So don't beat yourself up by comparing yourself to others. That's another one I would say.
Yeah, definitely, and that's some great advice. So, thank you so much for sharing it. So, do you look up to anybody in your music world?
Yes, I look up to Dave Grohl. So he's, you know, the lead. He is Foo Fighters basically. He's had, you know, two different careers. He was the drummer for Nirvana, and now he's rocking out in Foo Fighters. So he is definitely an inspiration. He's been through everything. So he is definitely one of my main inspirations. I would say I love people like Avril Lavigne, Alanis Morissette. I just love. Also, I love lyrical. From a lyrical point of view, I love, you know, Jared from Bowling for Soup, Busted, the band, like Blink-182. I think those songs are just really fun, and I think it's great. I think you get a lot of singers who will only talk about, you know, serious, you know, lyricists and stuff. But I think for me, definitely it's the fun side of pop punk as well. A lot of those bands really inspire me.
Yeah, definitely. Those are some great people to look up to. Well, you mentioned earlier on about your songs. So, what is it like writing your own songs? Because is it quite difficult? Is it really cool? How do you feel when you're writing them?
It changes every day because what I do, I like to sit down with the guitar, because if I know that a song is catchy with literally just my vocals and guitar, then it'll be even catchier with a whole band around me. So I like to sit down with my guitar. Normally I have a song concept, so I can't really write without a straight song concept about something. I love writing choruses because it's literally, for me, it's right, find the catchiest melody, like some really quirky lyrics, and just go crazy. And then from that, I kind of get a vibe of how I should write the verses and pre's. But it took a long time. I'd literally, in sixth form, I'd just sit down in the back of the common room and just study songwriting lyrics. And yeah, I used to sit down, I used to listen to a lot of Busted, and I'd write down all of their, you know, verse, choruses, all the pre's. I'd write down, you know, how many beats in the bars that they were listening, that they were writing to, and all the chords and all that. And from that, I just learned. So, and then some days I have pure writer's block. Like, I was speaking to my friend the other day, and because we were saying, oh, lockdown, it's been a year now, and I said it was insane because obviously everyone thought it was just 2 weeks, didn't they? So everyone, all of my friends in uni and stuff, they were like, yeah, 2 weeks off in uni, wah! And I was like, yeah, I can songwrite loads. And as soon as lockdown happened, my brain went blank, and I was like, oh my gosh, no, these are my 2 weeks off, like, I have to write. And no, I got nothing, but I'd kind of just sit and make myself songwrite. And then, you know, and then 2 weeks later, I was writing 5 songs in 2 days, and it just happens, like, so suddenly. So that's a bit weird.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that, and that's really cool, kind of how it chops and changes all the time. So, what is the best part about being in this industry?
Oh, there's loads. The people you meet, you know, fans, other musicians, even managers and tour managers and all that. I've definitely made lifelong friends being out on the road. It's just because obviously this started out as a fun hobby. You know, as a kid, I was like, oh, you know, it'd be great to do all that. And then now I'm actually doing it. So it's just even more, it just means so much more to me, this whole career and everything. And I certainly do not plan on stopping anytime soon. I want to be like 90 rocking out like Joan Jett or someone, or like Stevie Nicks. Yeah, so I just love it so much, live and breathe it. And it's great. It's great having my career as my hobby as well.
Yeah, it sounds like the music industry is a lovely place, and it's great that you're following your dreams as well. At the beginning of the interview, you mentioned you had a radio show, so do you want to mention a bit more about that?
Yeah, so it's called The Bronnie Show. It is out every Wednesday night, 6 till 8. So I play loads of like rock and alternative bands and also some pop bands and artists, obviously, as well. And it's great. Like, I've met so many new people from it. And I also interview some pretty cool bands. I've got an interview with Chrissy Constanza from Against the Current soon. I've interviewed people like Connor from the Vamps, Harvey. Loads of awesome people on that. So in fact, people who are watching this interview, you can re-watch some of the interviews on YouTube by typing in The Bronnie Show, or Spotify as well by typing in The Bronnie Show.
You're amazing. We'll definitely put a link in the description to that. And yeah, everybody go and check it out. It sounds super cool. You mentioned again earlier that you also got to support acts like Little Mix. So what was it like meeting bands such as them and being a supporting act for them?
Oh, it was one of the best days of my life. I remember getting the call saying, because they have to accept everyone that, you know, gets offered support. So their promoter got in touch with me and said, I really like your music. I'm going to put you forward to Little Mix. I think you've got a great fan base. And it would also be you and Conor Maynard supporting. So I was like, oh my gosh, please can they say yes? Then that'll be great. They said yes. And they turned up and they were like, oh, we've seen you from Twitter and all that. And we just got chatting. I had a great chat to Jade. She's amazing. It's a really empowering chat about women in the industry. And she just says, you know, girls do have to work 10 times harder. But the reward is 10 times better most of the time, so just keep going. And it was great walking on stage. It's literally what everyone says when you're doing a stadium crowd. Everyone just like looks like ants. So I was like, oh my god, but it was great. I was so hyper on stage, and I thought I'd be really nervous as well. I was just like, right, get me on stage, I'm ready. So yeah, that was definitely one of the best days ever.
Yeah, well, that does sound incredible. And my next question is about that. So if you can pick, because I know it's super difficult, what has been the best moment in your career?
Can I pick 3?
Yeah, go for your top 3. That's fine.
I've always got to do top 3. Right, so number 1 would be getting to do my own headline tour in the US, UK and Europe. Because there's something about kind of getting out your hometown, isn't there, and just playing a gig. And especially when it's your own headline gig and people are 100% there to see you. That was a great feeling. Number 2 was getting to support Little Mix and Neck Deep. Obviously, Little Mix are a very established band. You know, they're awesome. And, you know, getting to learn from them was amazing. And then obviously supporting Neck Deep, they're like my favourite pop punk band. And they've just supported Blink-182. So that was very sick. And then number 1 would be a few weeks ago, it's like a month ago, I finally charted number 1 in the rock charts, which is all down to my fans. They smashed it, which was insane. It was my latest single called Colour Looks Good on You. And yeah, I played that all around Europe, and that was number 1 in Belgium, the UK, Ireland. It was top 3 in 15 other countries. And yeah, that was definitely a memorable moment.
Yeah, all those moments sound incredible, and it's great you got to experience them. So I have one more question for you, and this is always my favourite question to end the interview with, and it's, do you have any music stories from touring or anything you want to share?
Yes, I was thinking about some tour stories today. There was one time we were in, I think it was Cardiff on tour, and our photographer Jordan, she really wanted a Greggs, and we were in the car park and we were like, oh, alright, cool, let's all go get a Greggs pasty and all that. And the doors wouldn't open. So it was doors that you had to open yourself, and Mark, our tour manager, decided to, you know, we were all ordering, and the woman was in the worst mood possible. She was called Michelle, and we were like, hey Michelle, like we just played a show, we were, you know, a couple of beers down and stuff, like having like all the hype, and she was like, what do you want? And we're like, oh shit. So obviously our tour manager Mark, he was like, this is a golden opportunity. So he locked Jordan, our photographer, in Greggs, because obviously he was like, right guys, just leg it out, and he held the door shut. And oh my god, it was so, that was very funny. Obviously there's some stories that are just not PG that I can't say. Another one was, we're on tour with a band called The Summer High. We brought them, they're from America, and we brought them over to Europe, and their guitarist does this really weird thing, James, where we'll go to Mackey's, and especially in Poland, it's so cheap, and he would eat half a burger, and then he'd just leave it in the van, and he'd be like, oh, I'm gonna save that for tomorrow, and we'd be like, James, like, it's so hot, it's summer. And he's like, no, it's fine, man. And it got to the point where there was about 20 half-eaten burgers all around the van, and we'd just make jokes like, James, where's your guitar? And it would be like, let me just check out all these burgers. But yeah, no, that was just a weird story. Other stories that are non kind of weird related, is when like fans come to my gigs and they have my lyrics tattooed on them, and you know, they come and ask me, you know, can you design a tattoo for me, which is great. And I'm like, are you sure you want my handwriting? Because I write like a 2-year-old. But no, yeah, just like so many amazing stories like that, and people saying, you know, that my music has helped them, which is like such a nice feeling to hear and all that. And it's really nice to know that my messages have been, you know, sent to my fans. You know, I've got a song called Not Too Late to Be Okay, and that kind of resonates with a lot of people. So yeah, it's a lot of the great tour stories are all down to my fans, really. They're great.
Yeah, that sounds lovely. Thank you for showing all these funny and...
I have one more, I just remembered. So, I'm obsessed with aliens. All my fans know that. Aliens totally exist. I've been to Area 51, hell yeah. And someone brought a blow-up alien to my Birmingham show once. And it was like my first sold-out show. And they like threw it on stage, and I was like, crowd surf! So we crowd surfed a blow-up alien doll to the back of the venue and back. And it took like 5 minutes. And it was the best time. I think we had to cut a song from the set as well, so my manager was like, come on, hurry! But no, yeah, that was one funny moment, yeah.
Oh yeah, that's super cool about that alien and stuff, so that's such a fun story to share. So we have come to the end of the interview now, and it's been great finding out more about yourself, your stories, and your career, so thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much for having me!
You're most welcome, and also thank you to everybody who watched this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next week for another one. Bye, guys!